hit record and I can send you the video after.
All right, cool.
Cool. So let me know what do you want to talk about.
All right, so the purpose of this meeting is to know your experience in your podcasting. How do you launch your podcast? How do you get downloads and all kind of stuff? And as you know, I'm writing a book right now for someone who wants to create, grow, and monetize their podcast. So I'm still in researching phase, and that's why I want to ask you a few questions.
Cool.
Okay, so Uros, what do you like about podcasts?
Interesting question. Like, because I'm not that long time in the podcasting, so like,
I mean,
what I like is definitely the thing that you can kind of get your message out to the public, to speak what you think, to tell people your what are you doing, what are you good at, things like that. And on the other hand, it's kind of easier for me to do it because if you make a mistake, you can go back, re-record things, so it's not directly live as on YouTube, and you don't need to be on the camera if you don't want to. So for me, it's kind of halfway there, so not needing to be like perfect on the first phase, because English is not my primary language, so I cannot find maybe some words or things like that. I can still do it later and fix it. So that's why I like podcasting. And the second thing what I like this is because when you go on a walk or you're doing something else, you can easily just put your headphones and listen. But if you're on the YouTube, it's usually something on the screen that you need to take a look. So it's kind of, you need to be more present there and watch the video. So with the podcast, you can go a bit of a doing other things and just listening in and learn something new from others. So that's probably
all right.
the answer.
And how long does it take to prepare to your podcast? I mean, you just launched your podcast on 4th May, right?
Yeah.
So how long does it take to prepare all that things, the interview, the script?
Yes.
And
so for the whole launch, I think I spent probably 2 weeks because I needed to do 8 interviews, and the way I did was based on a program that I went through. Was the idea that you first create sort of short episodes and then longer ones. So it was kind of 2-part interview. And then you need to edit all this, and at the beginning you also need to prepare some script to start the show, and then to prepare your questions. You need to do a research about your guest, so to know a bit of the guest, what he's doing, what you can ask, things like that. So
right.
I would say, at least for me right now, because I'm still in a very early stage, I would say I need probably an hour before the actual interview. Yeah, to prepare, and then interview takes roughly 45 minutes to an hour. It depends on the person you're interviewing and the length of the episode that you want to do. And then after, probably as well an hour to edit everything. So to put all the pieces in, maybe re-record something if you made a mistake But hopefully, when you become good at this and you practice, it should be less time consuming. Especially the first and the last part, right? So the interview you cannot shorten, but definitely like preparing can be done probably quicker, and the editing maybe it's also a way to outsource to somebody else. So you just add the files and they do the edit and everything.
So you said that you take 1 hour to prepare for the interview.
Yeah.
So when it comes to interviewing a guest, what's the challenge that you face?
The challenge. So for me, like at the very beginning, it was the biggest challenge was if I ran out of my questions, for example. So that was the biggest challenge. So what to ask in case, because the thing is, you can prepare some questions and you have some follow-up questions, but it can happen that the person you're interviewing already thinks about those follow-up questions and they do the answer within the first question. So then you could end up, what should I ask like next, right? I think this was the biggest challenge for me. And sometimes it's hard to find the info from the people you're interviewing. But I went in a way that I just asked them. So I said, look, I cannot find anything from you. Could you tell me a little bit about yourself so that I can prepare what is that you're good at, things like that. So from that, you can create sort of a outline of questions I discussed with them, if that is a good set of questions to talk about. But then at the end, when the interview went through, I think a lot of the challenges or fears that I had was kind of just there, and it didn't even happen. So I didn't have problems with questions, and they were easy. Give me some details about them, so it was not that problematic.
And do you find it hard when you respond to them?
No, like it was for some of them, because I asked a couple of them that are doing the podcasting for a long time, or they have really a lot of businesses in place. So I was kind of honored that they even say yes and wanted to come to a show. So it probably depends on the person to person you talk.
So, I mean, like when you ask them a questions and then they answer your questions, and you kind of want to put your story after they talk.
Yeah.
Do you find it hard to do that?
It probably depends, because if I'm talking with the person about the topic that I know and I understand, it's probably a lot easier, because you can talk from your experience and just discuss about this. With the other ones that I'm not so familiar, it kind of helps that you're just being curious. So just ask more and more, try to dig deeper with the question.
Love that.
That's how I feel.
All right. So, are you planning to monetize your podcast?
Right now, not directly. So for me, the to start podcasting was mainly just to put out my message and connect with like-minded people. So to see what are they doing, things like that. But definitely, in I don't know, a couple of months, I'm planning to monetize this a bit more, at least to um, uh, talk about my program that I want to put together. So I'm still in a process of doing the outlines and things like that. But there is also a way to monetize from the actual person that you're interviewing. So sort of do a JV partnership with them, or maybe offer them my services, things like that. So I think there are a lot of options. But my main focus right now is to create this coaching program first, and then I'll probably be more focused on monetizing the podcast.
So you said that you got 500 downloads on the first day, right?
Yeah.
How did you do that?
So it's preparation in advance. Like I reach out to a lot of people on Facebook and ask them if they want to review my podcast, download the episodes in advance. So I had a sort of a list of those, and I message all those people.
Wow.
And then there is also the interviews that were done with my guest. I asked them if they want to promote this to their list as well. So this kind of, and the idea to start with multiple episodes is to have more people, like each person can, let's say if one of the interviewers brings you 10 listeners, right? You have then 8 interviews, so it means 80 listeners just in one day. And because you have multiple episodes available, let's say they listen 5 of those episodes, so you multiply this by 5 and you get a lot more downloads if you would just, I don't know, release a show with 1 episode and
Wow.
try to ask people. So it's kind of a lot of things kind of combined that helps you drive that many of traffic, because then it falls down to I don't know, 20 to 30 a day, because I don't have that much subscribers yet, but this should eventually go up, right? If your content is good and if you promote it correctly, you can do all those relaunch multiple times. So it's not just for a fresh podcast. You can say, let's say, I will do this every, I don't know, every year to kind of get this hype once again, and so that it puts you on the charts. Because, like, for example, if you're once in the, I don't know, top 50, you can then say, look, my show was in top 50. So this is something that nobody can take away from you, right? Because like my coach said that if you, for example, choose a one actor, right? They won a Oscar award, but if they don't kind of show in any movie after this, they're still Oscar winner, right? And the same goes here. So for example, in my country, I end up top 2, so I was the second one. It's a bit easy in our country because there are not so many listeners and so many shows, but I think I was in 31 place in Canada.
Wow.
Then it was Singapore was within the top 100. In US, I was 130, I believe. So was quite good result.
Yeah, impressive.
Yeah.
So is it a weekly episode?
Yeah. So I'm planning to do a weekly episodes with interviews. And in between the interviews, I plan also to do a solo episodes when I will discuss about the topic I want to share, because the idea is that you plan out your content for the full year, and then it's, if you're doing just the interviews, it's really hard to stick to those topics, right? Because it really depends how quickly somebody can go on your show, and if it's kind of aligned with your topic. But definitely it's good to kind of have interviews to share the knowledge that you might not have.
And what are the days that you publish interview and solo?
So I will probably start with with Mondays to see how it roll out. But then through some analytics, you can see what is the best day for your listeners to kind of go and listen of your episode. So I might change the day depending on the analytics. So yeah, it's not defined yet, but I'll probably try to have one interview, one solo episode, one interview, one solo episode. And with this launch, I kind of have interviews done for at least 2 months in advance. So you're not always chasing other people and trying to be scared, like, will I have interview for the next week? You can have everything ready, scheduled to be released every week, and you just need to then do maybe one interview a week and one solo episode, and you're kind of building yourself with the queue of episodes for the future. So it's easier to handle, at least in my opinion, because I know when there is time pressure, I know that I don't operate as good as if there is enough time to think about and make it right.
Ooh. Wow. All right. So I know you're just starting out like 2 days ago. I mean like 4 days ago.
Yeah.
So there are many things that you are more likely to learn. So but what is it that you really want to learn right after you launch it?
So one thing that I learned during the launch is that you can launch like imperfectly. So you don't need to think about every little bit of detail, because we are human, so we do mistakes. So if something isn't really perfect, just put it out and make it better next time. Because this will also show the listeners that you're a real person, that you were a beginner at one stage, and that you become better after, let's say, 50 episodes. Because if you try to be perfect from the beginning, you'll probably never launch, right? So you try to do it better and better, and you would say, oh, this interview is not that good, or the content is not that good, let's do another one, let's do it different. Or maybe you're thinking, what music should I use for my intro? Is it good? No, it's not. Let's use the other one. But here you just need to pick one, record the intro, mix it up, interview a person, put everything together, and launch it. I guess this is the biggest learning I got from this.
Love
And
it.
I'll also try to apply this to a business as well. So
Wow. Love that. And what do you wish to learn more about podcasts?
maybe how to get a kind of good people to be interviewed. So this is still something I'm trying to be good at. So to find some interesting topics, and how to kind of more easily prepare your your content more like in a just some talking points, uh, so that I don't need to write everything in advance, but just put some points that I would like to discuss and then just go with the flow.
Wow. Hmm. So wait, one of them is about finding interesting topic, you
Yeah,
said?
yeah.
Uh, okay.
And the other
So,
one is just to simplify the process so that I don't need so much preparation in advance. These are kind of
mhm,
two things that I would like to improve and learn more.
mhm. That's great. All right. So that's awesome, Urosh.
Okay,
I
okay,
mean, that's all the questions. So thank you for sharing this.
okay.
And once I've done with the book, I will give it to you for free as a way
Cool,
of saying thank you
cool,
for
cool.
your contribution in this.
Hmm.
Okay. So
Great.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Um,
what else do you like to know?
like, so you're also a podcaster, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah.
so you start a bit earlier than me, right?
Yeah.
So you've done this yourself, or did you go through some course or anything
Mm-hmm.
like this?
I I've been through the course first
Mm-hmm.
to know what is it that I have to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mhm. So yeah.
And why are you doing the podcasting? Like, what's your purpose, and what do you want to do with your podcast?
Mm-hmm. So I like to learn and share my knowledge. At first, I just talk to my friends, but they don't listen. So I thought that I just have to record my voice and then just put it out there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's the starting point of me doing a podcast. I like to share my knowledge, and also I like to talk to with high level people, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I can't talk to them unless I have a platform.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hmm. So podcast is my platform
Mm-hmm.
to have a conversation with them. So that's the reason why.
Mm-hmm. And do you plan also to monetize it, or?
Yes, I plan to monetize it, but for now, not really.
Mm-hmm. So it's more
Mm,
like
be-
just a platform to discuss and to kind of
yes,
find new people.
yes,
Cool.
yeah.
And
Uh-huh.
what was the biggest challenge for you when you launch?
So the biggest challenge is I don't have many friends at that time,
Mm-hmm.
my Facebook friends. So I kind of have like 600, and most of them are just my school friends, my family. So
Mm-hmm.
they didn't support me.
Mm-hmm.
So not many downloads I got and not many listeners.
Mm-hmm.
But as the time went through,
Mm-hmm.
I got a lot of friends, a lot of support. So yeah, the challenge is I don't get support. I don't have many downloads at that time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it kind of like uh, demotivate me to keep going.
Yeah, because
Mhm.
you're thinking that you're just talking to a, I don't know, one person or
Yeah,
maybe two.
yeah,
Uh, but you're still like planning to continue, right? So you
yeah.
didn't lose
Because
the motivation.
hmm because I've been into a lot of groups
Mm-hmm.
and talk to them, so they support me. Now I feel like fire up.
Mm-hmm. Cool, cool. And how do you manage to get the content? Like, is this per weekly basis, or do you plan out things a bit?
It's a weekly. It's a
Mm-hmm.
weekly too, and I publish it every Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. Since Monday is very competitive for me, and
Mm-hmm.
there are a lot of shows, and Sunday is just like a friendly podcast. I don't know how's it called,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah.
Cool,
So
cool.
and the way I find content is just I look at their websites, and I just want to know one particular thing about them.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's like good to kind of focus on one thing, so to not try to speak about in one episode about 10 different things, because this can easily confuse people, right?
Hmm.
Cool.
Hmm.
And what's your like a biggest challenge right now?
Right now,
Yeah,
when doing podcasts.
yeah, or in business, I don't know. So
Oh, well, I didn't I didn't promote it hard enough. Like,
mm-hmm,
um, yeah, I didn't really promote it, and I don't know. I don't know the challenge that I will face because right now, no challenge yet.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Uh-huh. Everything went smooth right now.
mm-hmm. And what's your plan like with the podcast for this year? So do you have any numbers that you would like to achieve in terms of subscribers, or how many downloads you get, or you're just, I don't know, going with the flow?
Mm. So there is a number that I want to achieve,
Mm-hmm,
like 2,000 per month for downloads.
mm-hmm,
So yeah, right now I just have 500s per month. So I kind of want to extend the number
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
a little bit more. So yeah. So maybe not this year, maybe next year it will be 2000s. Right now I'm just building the listeners, my brand.
mm-hmm.
And yeah, right. This year is just a building process.
Cool.
Mm, mm.
And the course that you gone through, was this like just on the YouTube, or did you pay for some program?
I'm sorry.
So when you start your podcast to learn how to do this, was this just a free course, or did you go through some like online program?
I joined online program.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Well, if you want to know, it's from John Lee Dumas. Do you know John Lee Dumas?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's from him. I learned from him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah, so the mine was with Jamie Atkinson, so the
Oh,
podcast Profit Lab, and
uh-huh. I
uh,
heard that.
yeah, so it's really great program. So if you ever want to join, you can Slack me and I can provide you with
Hmm.
the link. I think he's just starting. Um, I was on a call with him yesterday, because he's starting the new season of coaching,
Hmm.
and it was really great because the community behind this, it's really as a family. So we help each other. We do a reviews, and so a lot of things possible.
Hmm. Cool.
So even if you have a podcast, you can still relaunch it and kind of show it in to be higher in the chart. So you get more listeners in, and he also teaches the way how you can monetize this. And I think this is really important.
Hmm. Cool. Hmm. So you mentioned about interviewing.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. So how is it? I mean, what do you like to know?
Yeah, so I was thinking that if there are some things that you think you could talk to, like special things that you're very good at or something like this, so I can think if you're like a good fit for my audience. So maybe if you can tell me what topics could you discuss, and where do you feel the most comfortable in?
Mm. So I mean, what is your audience want? What do they want? I mean.
So my audience and what I want to speak with them is usually the people that are still in their job, but they are not happy with this, and they want to try something new, like something that they are passionate about, or if they started doing this, but they are kind of stuck and they don't know even how to properly start things up, or how to create something meaningful. So to find their why, things like that. That's my main idea of my podcast. So if you think that there is something you could provide some value, I'm happy to have you on the
All right.
show.
All right. So they are working, and most of them are just mid-30,
Yeah.
I guess. Okay. So, what could possibly they want? I mean, what is it they possibly want to actually learn that might really benefit to them as a working person?
Yeah. So I think that the one thing that is kind of important is they have their mindset right. Maybe roadblocks that people have during their early phase of trying to something online, maybe just some tactics, how and with what to start if you're, let's say, a beginner. So probably it's not good to start with something big where you need to invest a lot of money. So how to start lean and build on that. So things like that. Maybe you can also, I don't know, think about this and let me know on the Slack, so we don't need to kind of go through this right now, because it's probably for you easier if you would like to think about and let me know.
All right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, okay. So it's more likely about mindset than marketing.
Yeah, but I would also like to include some sort of a practical things, especially the things I learned during this, because just to kind of prove that this is possible, I'm creating a new business. I have a couple of them already, but I would like to build another one, and just through this process, when I'm doing, just to document what things work, what things doesn't work, what I learned, and
Mm-hmm. All right. Cool. So, all right. What else?
what I mean.
I mean, like, is there anything else you like to say?
No, I think that's most of it. Unless you
Okay.
have something else to ask about the book.
Yeah. So, that's it for now. For now,
Okay,
that's it. Yeah.
cool.
Since you are the perfect example for someone who's just launched their
Yeah,
podcast. Yeah.
yeah, true.
So, yeah, once it's done, I'm just going to give it for you for free.
Cool. Let
Yeah.
me know how it progresses, and if you have some draft version, I can take a look and maybe give you some feedback if you'd
Yeah.
like.
So I will update it by email.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your email?
I can share you in the chat, so
Okay.
it's easier not to
Okay.
type right now.
All right.
Cool. I can also send you I'll upload this to Dropbox and I will give you a link to the video.
All right, cool.
And you can use it later.
Okay.
Cool. That's it then.
Thank you.
Okay.
Really appreciate that.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
Bye-bye.
bye-bye.